Hey everyone, it's Harun Bukhari. I'm a former investment banker and private equity investor turned entrepreneur. In today's video, I will be comparing the cost of living in New York City and Bali. I've spent many years living in New York and decided to spend some time in Bali and was pleasantly surprised by how far a dollar goes in Bali. In this video, I will be giving you a detailed monthly breakdown of how much you can expect to spend in Bali and New York, split between housing, eating, transportation, activities and entertainment, and other expenses. Let's start with accommodation. In Bali, I stay in this beautiful villa with a private pool and cleaning 3 days a week that cost me about $1,100 per month, including utilities. In New York, I pay $4,500 for a one-bedroom apartment in Chelsea, Manhattan, inclusive of utilities. Now, arguably, Chelsea is a nice area to live in, but you won't be able to find a one-bedroom apartment in New York for cheaper than $3,000. And the median apartment rent for one bedroom in Manhattan as of January 2024 is $4,300. And if you add cleaning 3 times per week, that would probably be an additional $500 to $1,000 per week. But I really don't think many people in New York are hiring cleaners 3 times a week unless you are Ken Griffin. Moving on to food, I'm one of those people that rarely cooks. I have attempted to buy groceries in my life, but unfortunately, most of them usually end up rotting in my fridge. So I don't have breakfast, and I usually start my day with coffee, which costs me $3 in Bali and around $5 for an Americano from Starbucks in New York. So in total, $90 in Bali and $150 in New York for coffee per month. For lunch in Bali, I typically order delivery, which costs me about $15 for a sandwich and a smoothie bowl. In New York, I usually get a sweet green salad, which costs me about $20. For dinner in Bali, I spend about $15 again if I'm ordering delivery, and if I'm going out, it can cost about $30 to $50 per meal. Now, I will say that in Bali, you can probably get a much cheaper meal, but I'm also talking from the point of view of a person that really likes to go out to eat at nice places, then try to save money on food, and this is actually where I spend most of my money. In New York, if I order delivery, it's at least $30, and going out is about $80 to $120 per person per meal. For the dinner calculation, I'm going to take the midpoint of the ranges and assume that I eat out 3 times per week, including buying dinner for a friend or a date one night of the week, which can be more. The total for food per month comes out to be $1,370 in Bali and around $2,890 in New York City. For transport in Bali, the mode of transportation is scooters. It costs about $130 to rent one per month and $20 for gas. In New York, I usually city bike everywhere, which is quite cheap and costs $200 per year or about $16 a month. And if you use the e-bike, it costs around an additional $50 a month. On weekends and for longer distances, I usually take Ubers. For the purpose of this calculation, I'm going to assume that I take 3 Ubers per weekend at an average price of $30 in Uber. So the total comes out to be around $430 for transportation in New York compared to $150 for Bali. Moving on to activities and entertainment. In Bali, I signed up for a really nice co-working space called Nebula with a built-in studio that I'm actually in right now, which costs around $130 per month. In New York, I typically work from Soho House, which sets me back $500 a month. Unfortunately, I can't really pause my Soho House membership, so I still have to pay the membership fees while I'm in Bali. Bali has some absolutely amazing gyms, but they are probably the one amenity that is not cheap at all. In Bali, I paid $200 for this gym called The Wrong Gym, and it was actually modeled after Equinox, so the vibe is very similar to the Equinox Hudson Yards in New York. And the recovery area is actually much better because it's outdoors. In New York, I pay $400 for an all-access Equinox membership. In Bali, I have been playing a lot of paddle, which costs me $10 an hour per person. I play about 3 times per week, so that's about $120 per month. In New York, paddle can cost a lot more, about $50 to $100 per hour per person. I don't play too much paddle in New York, but I usually play in a recreational soccer league, which costs about $200 for 6 weeks, so about $150 a month. For events and parties, I have found that New York has a lot more ticketed events than Bali. In Bali, you can probably expect to pay about $100 for ticketed events per month, and in New York, I usually pay about $150 per weekend for ticketed events, which sets me back about $600 for the month. Last up, we have the other category, which are all the other miscellaneous expenses that I haven't talked about. A men's haircut in Bali is about $15, really nice haircut, and in New York is about $50. I get 2 haircuts per month, which makes it $30 a month in Bali and $100 in New York. Phone and data costs in New York and Bali are about the same. I can get a cheaper local SIM, but I choose to keep my US one and use the Airelo app, which is more convenient, but slightly more expensive than the local options. Both cost around $25 a month. The last bucket is miscellaneous expenses like laundry and some other items that I probably forgot. I allocated $100 for Bali and $500 for New York. Can be a lot more. If you live in New York, you know how many random expenses you have on a daily basis, like tipping everyone you will ever meet, or going to a Barry's class your friend invited you to for $40. So yeah, when you sum it all up, in Bali, I spend $3,325 per month. In New York, I spend a little over $10,000 a month. So you can see why so many people who work online are choosing to live in Bali. That's it, guys. If you enjoyed this comparison, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.